everyone, it's Red Baron, and I'm going to be going over a void break preparation guide for you guys, mainly for free to play players. This seems to be something that a lot of you have been asking for, as many of you are starting to get very close to going into void break. So we'll dive right into it. It's going to be a video where I kind of jump around quite a bit just because it's been a while since I had to break through to void break. I'm now in wholeness now, but it should be a good guide for you guys what to focus on once you're in void break in the very beginning, as well as what you need to do for the few weeks leading up to void break. That way you're well prepared. The first thing we need to discuss is the resource management that you need to do while you're in incarnation, pretty much all the way through incarnation. Before you get to void break, you need to start saving specific resources. The first one is going to be just your normal spirit gem. So just your basic currency. You'll want to have a minimum of 200 mil saved up just because you're going to be using it for your clone. You could be using it for more expensive, I will say, alchemy as well as forging. So it's important to have saved up a minimum of 200. That way you can upgrade these features. The next thing that you're going to want to start saving probably from Incarnation Middle and later, or whenever you get into Incarnation Late, start saving up all of these treasure troves. So the specific ones we're looking at are going to be these ancient treasures here. This is going to upgrade whenever you go into void break. You can save your atlas. You can save your creation diagram for new and stronger curios. So as you can see, there are mythic ones that you can unlock once you get into void break. So it's important to save these. The pet index, not as important. So you can go ahead and spin these. So the pet one's not as specific, but the gleam chest, the nimbus, pretty much all the other ones besides pet, you'll want to save. That way you're able to open them up and get better rewards once you break through into void break. The next thing that's going to be the most important thing that you'll want to start saving probably early on in incarnation is going to be reveal stones. You spend these in the seeker shop, and the reason you're saving them is because there are very limited opportunities, especially if you're free to play, to get these nature mantra. These nature mantra are what you're going to use to upgrade your laws, specifically your cosmic laws, from G1 to G7, so you can unlock your void break abilities. So you will want to have thousands of these saved up whenever you go over into void break, so you can just start spamming refreshes and get as many of these as you can. So just to give you an example, you can only purchase 2 a day, but you can refresh, and it does cost a little bit of fate. But if you're okay spending maybe just 1 refresh a day, you can get 4 of these a day. If you're free to play, you're not going to have a large amount probably saved up where you can just refresh all the way through. But you'll want to go ahead and do maybe 1 refresh a day. That way you can early on get some nature mantras built up. You'll eventually reach a point where you're going to be running out of reveal stone again, which is completely fine. And then from that point on, just every day, spend what you can on your nature mantras. The second thing you can spend it on are elemental law fragments, and these are what you're going to be using to break through on your elemental laws to specific breakpoints every 10 levels. So you'll need a lot of these as well, but I would probably make your number 1 priority the nature mantras. And then if you have extra and you want to spend them on elemental law fragments, go ahead and do that as well. But there are more opportunities to get elemental law fragments than there are nature mantra. This next example of something that you'll want to save was brought up to me after I had already broken through, but it's a very good point, and it's something I had never thought of. So, garden is going to be very important for you once you're in Void Break because it's going to be one of your, especially free to play, one of your main sources of the law fruits. And law fruits are going to be what you use to expedite your increase in law levels. So, to begin with your garden, you're going to want to have probably 24 garden tiles. And if you're completely free to play, 21 is what you want to aim for. And the reason being, that's going to be giving you 7 law fruits if you are 21, or 8 law fruit slots if you are spending just a little bit more. That you're able to go ahead and start planting and speeding up these fruits to increase your law levels. Now, what you want to save after you've gotten your 21 slots is your speed up. So you can see here, you actually have speed ups that can be saved over a extended period of time. So honestly, from probably incarnation all the way until you get into Void Break, I would be saving these speed ups. So that way you're able to just fly through several law fruits whenever you first break through. And it's going to give you a nice boost, especially if you're off free to play, whenever you're getting your laws leveled up. So definitely save those. It'd be very beneficial. We had members in our sect that had hundreds, probably thousands of hours saved up. So that's something that will be very beneficial for you. The next resource you'll want to save up is going to be Citrine. As many of you know, this is going to be very important for you to level up all of your abilities. So make sure you're not wasting Citrine on abilities you're not going to be using in Void Break, because you're really not going to want to reset early on in Void Break. You'll want to save at least 180,000 to 190,000 Citrine before you go ahead and respec those abilities. So make sure you're watching those guides that I've made on your abilities. Those are specifically about Void Break and where you should have those skills by the end of Void Break. And the last resource that you'll want to save up is just going to be your fate tokens, which are what you use to refresh, as well as save up your fate. I clicked on the wrong one. Here we go. So refreshes, fate tokens are what you use to refresh in the fate villain shop. And then you'll want to save up some fate team as well, just because it's going to help you early on with cultivation. So here are the things that I would recommend that you buy. If you're free to play, you are going to want to buy your cultivation bag for whatever class you are, and you'll want to refresh at least once. So try to get 2 of these bags a day. It's going to be pretty beneficial for you, especially early on. The next thing that you'll want to buy is the whichever elixir you need. So if you are Corporea, it's going to be at least for this one, is Cosmic Powder. And then if you're Magica, Emerald Pill. The important thing to note with this, especially if you're free to play, are these effect ratios. So the more times you use the pills, the less effective they become. So it's recommended that you use these elixirs until your effect ratio is at 120. And then you can stop using it, or you can go ahead and just go all the way through 120. And then once you notice it drop down to 100, go ahead and stop using them as well. If you continue to have extra Fate team, then it's okay to use those, but I just wouldn't recommend it. The next thing that I buy are the demon lures every single day, no matter the cost. The reason I do that is because it's going to be giving you more mats to make, either your pills or to make and create things in the forge. So I go ahead and buy that every single day. And then there are things that I will buy if they're on sale. So these pine and cranes are good if they're on a big sale because it's going to increase the friendship levels of your immortal friends. So that's something that you can look at. But really, if you're free to play, you'll have a limited amount of Fit Team to spend. So just spend it on things that are 70% off that you're needing. And don't forget to hit that refresh button once a day at a minimum. That way you're able to get those 4 cultivation bags. That's going to be the biggest thing. And then for your sect, you need to have a little bit of Fatim left over for this. So it's recommended that you refresh so that you're always getting blue or higher, so rare or higher sect tasks. It's going to be very nice for you to make sure that you're getting the most amount of citrine that you can from that. And then the other thing is the bounties. Same thing with bounties. Use your refresh so that you're getting rare or higher. That way you're getting better drops from doing those bounties. One last thing I forgot to mention is Dual Shop. So for Dual Shop, it's X server rewards. So the points that you're getting from your X server duels. So with these, you are able to buy your nature mantras. However, it has a very, very long cooldown. I'm actually not sure. I think it's just per season. It'll reset. So the seasons do last quite a while. So you'll have to kind of just buy this when you can. I would prioritize the nature mantras. These soul jades are going to be good if you are wanting to level up your relic. And then the epic stardust and the star upstones are good. And then you can get the alias for your relic, or you can get carving jades for your gear, just depending on what you're needing. I don't necessarily go for any of these curios. You could if you want to. I just have not done that yet. I like to save them for the next reset, so that way I can get the nature mantras and the epic stardust because I use those quite a bit more. And that is pretty much everything that I did leading up to Voidbreak. Just really a lot of resource management, especially as free to play. You want to make sure you have as many reveal stones as possible. You want to make sure your garden is all set up. And then once you hit Voidbreak, your main focus, especially early on, if you want to dominate other free to play players, is to allocate as much resources as you can to improving your laws. The reason is just because the higher your law level, the more you're going to be getting this suppression, which grants you higher damage dealt, and then you'll be getting all of those law suppression and resistant boosts as well from the 5 different elements as you level them higher and higher past the 100 level marks. If this video was helpful, make sure that you give it a like and continue subscribing to the channel. We need to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and we're getting closer and closer every day. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Thanks.